About this cold. Yesterday I mentioned in my blog that that my throat was making me hate life, and so not to expect any new video over the next couple days. But surprisingly, today I'm already feeling a lot better. So here, enjoy this unexpected little extra. Something that I wanted to point out, I've mentioned it many videos ago, and I wanted to come back to it, but I never really had the chance to do so. At one point I mentioned Pokémon Bank and its trial period that's going to span the holiday period, the month of January, and I was thinking, and I'm honestly really thinking that that they give us this trial period just so that those who want to use it once to transfer all their stuff to Generation 6 games and then be done with it can do so without incurring any financial penalties. And the reason why I'm thinking that is because, well, why would you need a trial for utility like that? When you get it, you know exactly what you're getting into. It's not like, getting a demo for a game just so you can get a feel for what it's like and stuff. It's just a storage utility that allows you to transfer Pokemon as well. So why would you need a trial period for that? So that is the reason why I really think that they're doing this mostly with these people in mind. Of course, I would have liked them to offer an alternative, that gives you like one box instead of 100 that you could use, almost exclusively for transferring, because you're not going to be doing much storage with one box. But yeah, they could have done that for, offering that for a lot cheaper, like, I don't know, maybe not even $5, and then you're done with it forever, maybe even $2 or $3. Of course, it would only be one payment, since, well, that would be volcanoes are called Kazan, whatever, in my language. Is that a real language she's talking about, or is she just making shit up? Quick! To Google! After I'm done recording this video. Whatever. So, something else that I really should talk about at this point is my strategy for the upcoming leg of this LP, because I think it's going to be, it's not going to be as straightforward as usual, so I guess I should clue you in on what I'm planning to do once I get out of this cave. Once I get out of here, I intend on heading straight to, I'm going to check out Undella Town, where, there's almost nothing to check out because it's not summer, but I'm gonna see what little it has to offer anyway, and then I'm going to go straight to Route 14, since I'm planning on using a Mienshao in this LP, and I'm going to catch a Mienfoo there, and before I do any grinding, I want to bolt to the village bridge as fast as I can, ignoring as many trainers as possible. I think there's a rival battle on the way there, and maybe one with Zinzolin as well. But I'm going to do these, and I'm going to head towards the village bridge as fast as I can, because I would really like to have my team complete as soon as possible, so that I can have Lapras in on some of that experience that I'll be picking up on routes 12, 13, 14, Undella Bay, which is full of water types, so Lapras is really going to enjoy bombarding them with thunder, and, of course, having water absorb will naturally really help. But, it also is going to have the advantage of, I'll be going through Lacunosa Town when I do that, and the TMs for Fire Blast and Thunder are there. I'm going to buy Fire Blast for Volcarona. I'm going to buy Thunder for Lapras as well. And I might also pick up the Psychic TM on the way there. I don't remember its exact location, but if it's not too far out of the way, I might go and pick it up for Volcarona as well, so it's going to have a respectable moveset with Fire Blast, Signal Beam, Psychic, and Will-O-Wisp. Oh god, Darmanitan. I hate facing this thing in-game. It's just so bloody powerful! Unfortunately, I think my Excadrill has enough levels to outspeed it and one-hit KO it with Earthquake, but if not, I am going to suffer so much. So, is that going to be enough? Yes! Okay, good. So, after I get my Lapras over at the village bridge, I'm going to grind both the Mienfoo and Lapras. I'm going to try and get Mienfoo all the way to level 53 before evolving it so it can get high jump kick early. I know usually I don't really do that, but since there are Audinos with pretty high levels, all things considered, I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to go for a level 53 to give it high jump kick before evolving it. And one more thing, I want to head over to the battle subway. I'll be doing this off screen, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and get enough BP to get a wide lens to improve my Mienshau's accuracy, because of course missing with high jump kick is a bitch. So I'm going to try and accrue as many BP as I need to get a wide lens, because you see the problem is that the wide lens outside of the battle subway is a version exclusive item in this game. I think you can find the zoom lens or something. I think it's on Route 4, which reminds me, I have yet to show you guys the level 25, I think it's level 25 at least, the Braviary that you can find on Route 4. So I'm going to have to go back and show you a few things, because I still haven't fought the Ferris wheel trainer this month. So yeah, basically overall that's the plan. Complete my team before grinding it, get a wide lens for Mienshao. That should definitely help. Another thing that I wanted to come back to, I think I've already mentioned how Mega Garchomp is going to be a thing, and I think we all breathed a huge sigh of relief when we saw what kind of stats it was going to have. It's going to have increased attack and special attack, but lower speed, which is the first occurrence of a Mega Evolution being confirmed to have stat drops upon the process of Mega Evolving, which is interesting. Of course, it all depends on whether the attack boost will be enough to offset both that and the loss of the held item, because the special attack boost, I'm not expecting it to have too much of an impact, honestly, because right now, Garchomp uses barely any special moves whatsoever, with the occasional Fire Blast, but generally Fire Fang is much preferred, despite it having just over half the power, just because it runs off a higher stat and can potentially be boosted with Swords Dance. So, yeah, that special attack boost might be wasted, depending. It all depends on the difference between attack and special attack. If attack gets a fairly minor boost, but special attack gets a much bigger one, we could see mixed Mega Garchomp and have it be successful. But right now, if the difference remains the same, I think Garchomp will remain mostly a physical sweeper, even in its Mega form. Of course, whether it's strong enough to be sent back to Ubers remains to be seen. It might happen, especially with Sand Force around, which might make Stone Edge more popular than it is now, because right now the favored moveset seems to be Swords Dance, Outrage, Earthquake, and Fire Fang. But the interesting thing still remains that regular Garchomp can outspeed stuff Mega Garchomp will not be able to outspeed. So that is going to be very interesting to follow in the upcoming months. Also, I talked a lot about the new type chart, the Fairy type, as well as the loss of Steel's resistances to Ghost and Dark. One thing that I like a bit less about that last change is that, well, usually Ghost and Dark are seen as being fairly redundant typings, because their type effectiveness is rather similar when you compare the two. Of course, there are a few differences, but not enough to really justify using a dark move on a ghost Pokemon, or vice versa, or moves of both types on a Pokemon that uses them for coverage moves, which is why Bayonet has so many problems, because when you look at its physical move pool, it's got nothing but Ghost and Dark moves, and Ghost and Dark are so incredibly redundant that it's kind of ridiculous. So I kind of wish that they would have differentiated the two in a bit of a more meaningful way while they were tampering with Steel's resistances with them. So yeah, it's kind of a shame. It's something that I would have liked to see maybe fixed in a way. I don't know if the term would be accurate. One thing that I will give Game Freak credit for, though, is the fact that Steel is going to be good against Fairy. That is going to be quite interesting, because historically, Fighting has utterly obsoleted Steel as an offensive type, and as a result, well, when was the last time you saw an Ironhead Lucario? Be honest with me. It's always all about the fighting moves, and since the Steel brings nothing new to the table compared to fighting, it's just never used at all. But now that this is a thing, I don't know. Are we going to see things like Ironhead Lucario? Of course, Lucario has a massive move pool, so it might just as well resort to other types to try and beat fairies, but it could still be interesting, because the fact that Steel was obsoleted by fighting is now much lessened, because Steel is very effective against Fairy, whereas fighting totally falls flat on its ass. So at least there's that. So this is something that I really appreciate them doing. I wish they'd done the same with Ghost and Dark, but whatever. Can't win them all, I guess. But overall, as I've said before, I am very satisfied with what Game Freak did with the type chart. It really shows that they're actually pretty in touch with what's going on in the metagame, even if it's not specifically the metagame implemented by fan sites such as Smogon. They still have a good idea that, well, some things are just too powerful and some things are entirely worthless, even if things like the decision to give certain Pokemon like Blaziken and Garchomp Mega Evolutions can make you second-guess that at times. I will just point you back to that time when they made a Super Fang tutor, and they went out of their way to not give any single overused or uber Super Fang, except for Mew, since learning every tutor is kind of its thing, and holy crap, 2 Excadrills again. Sorry about that, it's just a really intimidating sight, seriously. I mean, we all know how powerful that thing is, and the weird thing about that being so intimidating is that Excadrill is a lot smaller than you would expect it to be. I would expect that thing, just looking at it, to be something like at least 5 feet tall, but nope, not even close, which is kind of weird in a way. There are so many Pokemon that look bigger than they should be, or look smaller than they should be, and Excadrill is probably the biggest example of that. So, I'm going to finish off this Excadrill here, and that is going to be all for today. Now, I make no promises as to when I will upload another video, because for all I know, I could wake up tomorrow and my throat's going to be busted again. But, if nothing too serious happens, expect probably a few videos this weekend. So, see you then!